From KGB to Kremlin, the genesis of Putin's power. This is the story of a man who has shaped the course of modern Russia, a journey that began in the shadows of the Soviet Union and led to the highest echelons of power. Vladimir Putin's story is a fascinating one. Born in 1952 in Leningrad, now known as St. Petersburg, his early life was marked by the aftermath of World War II. The city was still recovering from the devastating siege, and life was tough. He rose from humble beginnings to become the president of Russia. Growing up in a communal apartment, young Putin was known for his resilience and determination, traits that would serve him well in his future endeavors. Putin's journey is a tale of ambition, power, and control. From his early days as a law student at Leningrad State University to his recruitment into the KGB, each step was a calculated move towards his ultimate goal. It offers a glimpse into the inner workings of Russia's political landscape. The corridors of power in Russia are complex and often opaque, but Putin navigated them with a blend of cunning and strategic foresight. Putin's early years were marked by hardship in post-war Leningrad. The city, ravaged by war, was a harsh environment, but it was here that Putin developed his tenacity and survival instincts. He later joined the KGB, the Soviet Union's feared intelligence agency. This was a pivotal moment in his life as the KGB was not just a career but a way of life, demanding absolute loyalty and secrecy. His KGB experience shaped his worldview, instilling in him a deep sense of secrecy and distrust. The skills and connections he acquired during this time would prove invaluable in his political career. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 presented Putin with new opportunities. As the old order crumbled, he saw a chance to rise through the ranks of the new Russian Federation. He navigated the turbulent political waters of 1990s Russia, rising through the ranks and securing key positions in Boris Yeltsin's government. His ability to maneuver through the chaos of post-Soviet Russia was remarkable. In a surprising turn of events, Yeltsin chose Putin as his successor and resigned on New Year's Eve 1999. Putin became acting president. This unexpected move catapulted him into the spotlight and set the stage for his long tenure. This was the beginning of Putin's reign over Russia, which has continued in one form or another to this day. His presidency has been marked by significant changes in both domestic and foreign policy. Putin's rise to power was marked by a combination of factors: his strategic mind, his ability to form alliances, and his ruthless approach to opposition all played crucial roles. He was ruthless and ambitious, but also lucky. The political landscape of Russia at the time was ripe for someone with his particular set of skills and ambitions. He seized the opportunities that came his way, and has remained in power ever since. His ability to adapt to changing circumstances and maintain control has been a hallmark of his leadership. He has become synonymous with modern Russia, a figure who commands both admiration and fear on the global stage. His influence extends far beyond the borders of Russia, making him one of the most significant political figures of our time. The making of a spy: Putin's early years and KGB service. Vladimir Putin's childhood was a world away from the halls of the Kremlin. Born in 1952 in Leningrad, now known as St. Petersburg, he grew up in a city still bearing the deep scars of World War II. The city had endured a brutal siege, and the aftermath of the war was evident in the crumbling buildings and the somber faces of its residents. Putin's family lived in a communal apartment, a common arrangement in Soviet Russia where multiple families shared a single kitchen and bathroom. This environment fostered a sense of community but also required a high degree of resilience and adaptability. These early experiences shaped his character, instilling in him a sense of resilience and resourcefulness. He learned to navigate the complexities of communal living and the harsh realities of post-war Soviet life. As a young man, Putin was drawn to the world of espionage, fascinated by spy novels and movies. This fascination was not just a passing interest, it became a driving force in his life. He joined the KGB in 1975 at the age of 23, embarking on a career that would profoundly shape his future. The KGB, or Committee for State Security, was the main security agency for the Soviet Union, and joining its ranks was a significant achievement. Putin served in East Germany during a time of great tension between the Soviet Union and the West. The Cold War was at its peak, and East Germany was a frontline state in this ideological battle. His KGB training honed his skills in observation, analysis, and manipulation. He learned the art of gathering intelligence, interpreting data, and using that information to influence events and people. Operating in the shadows, Putin developed a deep understanding of the levers of power and how to use them to his advantage. This knowledge would later prove invaluable in his political career. These skills would prove invaluable in his later political career, allowing him to outmaneuver opponents and consolidate his grip on power. His ability to read people and situations, a skill honed during his KGB years, became a cornerstone of his leadership style. Putin's KGB service remains shrouded in secrecy, yet it is clear that his time in the intelligence agency had a profound impact on him. The discipline, the secrecy, and the strategic thinking required in the KGB became integral parts of his persona. It shaped his worldview, influenced his leadership style, and continues to inform Russia's approach to global affairs today. The lessons he learned in the KGB about power, control, and strategy are evident in his actions as the leader of Russia, making his early years in KGB service a crucial chapter in understanding Vladimir Putin. Stepping onto the political stage, Putin's rise in 1990s Russia. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 brought an end to Putin's KGB career. He returned to Russia facing an uncertain future. The country was in chaos, the economy was in free fall, and the old order had crumbled. A new political landscape was emerging. Putin, however, saw opportunity amidst the chaos. He reinvented himself as a politician and joined the administration of Anatoly Sobchak, the mayor of St. Petersburg. He quickly rose through the ranks, gaining a reputation for being a competent and efficient administrator. Putin's loyalty to Sobchak caught the attention of President Boris Yeltsin. Yeltsin brought Putin to Moscow in 1996, appointing him to a series of increasingly important positions in the Kremlin. Putin proved to be a loyal and effective operator, earning Yeltsin's trust. In August 1999, Yeltsin appointed Putin as prime minister. This was a pivotal moment in Russian history, putting Putin in pole position to succeed Yeltsin. Just a few months later, Yeltsin resigned and Putin became acting president. His rise to power was complete. Section 4. Tightening the reins. Putin's consolidation of power in the 2000s. Vladimir Putin inherited a Russia in crisis. The country was still reeling from the collapse of the Soviet Union. The economy was weak. Oligarchs held immense power. Crime and corruption were rampant. Putin vowed to restore order and stability. He moved swiftly to consolidate his power. One of Putin's first targets was the oligarchs. These were the wealthy businessmen who had amassed vast fortunes during the chaotic privatization of state assets in the 1990s. Putin struck a deal with them. He allowed them to keep their wealth. They had to stay out of politics. Those who defied him, like Mikhail Khodorkovsky, were arrested and jailed. Their assets were seized. Putin also moved to silence dissent. He brought the media under state control. He cracked down on opposition groups. He created an atmosphere of fear and intimidation. This made it difficult for anyone to challenge his rule. Putin's consolidation of power was ruthless and effective. He transformed Russia from a fragile democracy into an authoritarian state. He centralized power in the Kremlin. He crushed all forms of opposition. He established himself as the undisputed ruler of Russia. The oligarchs shuffled Putin's balancing act with Russia's wealthy elite. The relationship between Vladimir Putin and Russia's oligarchs is a complex one, filled with both cooperation and tension. It is characterized by a delicate balancing act, where mutual interests and underlying mistrust coexist. On the one hand, Putin understands the importance of the oligarchs to the Russian economy. They are the pillars of various key industries. They control vast swaths of industry and finance, from energy to banking, and their influence is undeniable. They generate significant wealth and employment, providing jobs to millions of Russians and contributing to the nation's GDP. On the other hand, Putin is wary of the oligarchs' political influence. He knows that their wealth can easily translate into power. He remembers how they used their wealth to buy influence in the 1990s. They undermined the state, creating a chaotic and unstable political environment. Putin is determined to prevent this from happening again. He has learned from the past and is keen on maintaining control. Putin's strategy has been to co-opt the oligarchs rather than confront them head-on. He has found a way to integrate them into his vision for Russia. He has allowed them to maintain their wealth and businesses, ensuring that they remain influential but not uncontrollable. But he has made it clear that they must toe the line politically. They must align their interests with the state's agenda. They must support his government and its policies, showing loyalty in both public and private spheres. They must refrain from criticizing him in public, ensuring that any dissent remains behind closed doors. This arrangement has worked well for both sides. The oligarchs have found a way to thrive under Putin's rule. The oligarchs have prospered under Putin's rule, enjoying the benefits of stability and economic growth. Their wealth has increased significantly, allowing them to live in luxury and continue expanding their business empires. Putin has benefited from their economic and political support, using their resources to bolster his own power. However, the balance of power remains precarious. The relationship is built on a foundation of mutual benefit but also mutual suspicion. Putin could easily move against the oligarchs if he felt they were becoming too powerful or independent. The oligarchs, in turn, must constantly navigate this delicate balance to maintain their status and influence. Muzzling dissent, control over media and suppression of opposition. Vladimir Putin understands the power of the media. He knows that a free and independent press can be a threat to his rule. He has taken steps to bring the media under his control. He has silenced critical voices. Putin has used a variety of tactics to achieve his goals. He has taken control of state-owned media outlets. These include television channels and newspapers. He has used them to spread propaganda and disinformation. He has harassed and intimidated independent journalists. He has forced some of them to flee the country. Putin has also cracked down on opposition political parties and movements. He has used a combination of legal and extra-legal means to suppress them. He has passed laws that restrict their activities. He has harassed and imprisoned their leaders. As a result of Putin's actions, there is no longer any meaningful political opposition in Russia. The media is tightly controlled. Public dissent is rare and dangerous.